Okay, this is Sean B. Bradley, CEO of Dealer Synergy, and I am on the phone with John Hinder Honda. And gentlemen, I am blown away by what I've heard to the point that I'm just doing a video go-to-meeting. And what's going to happen is I'm going to interview your store because I'm just blown away. So on the phone call, we've got the Internet Director, Tim King. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, and now we've got a rising superstar in our industry. His name is Rob Stewart. Say hello, Rob.
Hi.
Okay, and I know, Rob, you might be a little bit modest, but what's going on is this. Can you guys see my screen? You should see your website right here. Is that correct?
Yeah, there we go. Looks good.
Okay, good. So what's going to happen is I'm going to click over here. Rob, this is your profile on Automotive Internet Sales, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's going to happen is this, is that I'm going to take this interview that we're doing right here, and as if you see right here, this is the home page. We've got over 1,500 real members on here that are constantly on the site, and it's like the CNN, obviously, of the industry for internet sales. You're going to be right here. Not only are you going to be the dealership of the month, but you are going to be the coordinator of the freaking year, I think, you know, with the story that you're about to tell us, okay? So let's go in here. This is my CRM, and I want to go over these numbers here. Basically, you have 137 units sold. Is that correct?
That's what we've got without counting today's numbers.
Okay, so that's without even counting today's numbers. Let's go in here. I want to go over, Rob, can you go over your scorecard, please, with me?
Sure.
Okay, so October scorecard up to the 30th.
Well, no, this would be your individual 3-minute, yeah, your scorecard on your 3-minute book, my friend.
Okay, so for example, how many leads did you receive this month, Rob?
Okay, on internet leads this month so far, Rob's had 57, it looks like. Is that what you've got?
Just a second. No, my internet leads for this month so far have totaled 109.
Oh, okay. Okay.
109.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
My phone leads.
Okay, that's
sorry.
That's email leads, right?
Yep.
Right.
How many for phone?
78. And these are through yesterday.
Well, here's showing 131 total for you.
Okay, so we're looking at 109 plus 78 equals 187 for a total of 187 fresh leads. Now, question for you. This is going to be a little bit above normal. Can you share with me, please, how many hours a week do you work?
Normally 40.
So about 40 hours. Sometimes
That's my normal work week. Last week I worked, a few extra hours because we're short-staffed.
But last week. Okay, so now, okay, so out of the 187, fresh leads, do you know how many carryover leads you had from last month?
Should have been. How many cars did you sell last month? Do you know off your? Do you have that in there individually? Because you had roughly the same number of incoming leads, a few more. Where's your final scorecard? Is that it right there? On 9:30.
So you're wanting to know how many solds I had last month, right?
Nick, I'm trying to figure out in the month of October, how many active leads did you have in your CRM? So let's say, for example, today's the 31st, right? So if you had 187 fresh leads minus the 72 that were delivered, that's 115 that weren't delivered by, let's say, not including today. Let's say if you closed the month yesterday. And what's going to happen is that I'm estimating if you divide that by 2, you're probably going to walk into November 1st with at least 50 to 60 leads from this month that you're going to start with November 1st. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
So we're taking the total leads handled minus what was sold and then cut it in half.
Right. I had for the month of September, I had a total of 38 solds in September.
Okay, but how many leads?
And for my leads, my total leads for the month of September, I had 162.
Phone and internet?
Phone and internet.
Okay, so I'm estimating that you had 65 carryover. So
Yes.
are going to estimate 65 carryover leads for a grand total of 65 plus, what was the number up here?
187 gives you 252.
Yes, plus 187, 252, grand total of 252 for community. Okay, normally I don't recommend that, but damn, okay, that you crushed it. So okay, so this is really realistic. Just so you understand, is with that many leads, you know, it is theoretically possible for you to be able to get to the type of numbers you have. Okay, so now we basically said you had 187. Okay, out of 187 fresh leads, and then 65 carryover. How many appointments did you make? Or how many attempts did you make? How many phone calls did you make?
For the month of October, is that what you're asking?
Yes, how many outbound phone calls?
2,647 through yesterday.
2,000.
647 through yesterday. Actually, 2,746, sorry.
Okay, and how many working days did you have this month?
Well, let's see. I took 4 days off on the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So I would say
26?
Plus weekends were off.
Oh,
Plus
plus
my
weekends.
weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to work weekends all the time. They won't let me.
Okay, so I'm looking right here. As of yesterday, we had 4 Sundays, and then we had 4 Saturdays. Did you work any Saturdays or any Sundays?
I worked 1 Saturday and 1 Sunday in October.
Okay, so then that's 6. You had 6 weekends off, and then you also had, you know, you said 4 additional days. So you only took 10. You know, not only. I say you.
I took
Had 10.
I think
10 total days off.
as part of you're saying the 6 days off, or 6 weekend days off. 2 of those were actually in my 4 days. So just remember that.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
did
Okay, so
4 days off. I took a Thursday, a Friday, and then a Saturday and a Sunday.
okay, so then basically, then you had 8 days off out of the 30 days for 22 working days.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if we take the 22 working days, right? So if we take the 2746 divided by 22. Okay, you're averaging. Okay, you averaged 124.8 calls per day. Do you see that?
Okay.
Do you see how I did that? I just basically took the 2,746 divided by
Yeah.
the 22 working days. So you hit the 124.8 calls per day. Okay, now how many appointments did you make?
How many appointments did I make for October?
Yes.
Through yesterday, 201.
Say again?
Through yesterday, 201.
Jeez. Okay, you know what? Let's even go through, let's go another variable. How many connections did you make? So out of the
500. My connections for this month have been 599.
599. Okay, so let's look at this.
That's through yesterday.
Okay, God bless you. So if we look at this way, if you had 2746 times 0.14 at a 14% connection ratio, you're only at 384. So you had way higher than that. You know what I mean? Like you had, you know, roughly, you know, about a 20% close connection ratio. What do you attribute that success to?
Well, for me, it's just really easy. It's all about being sincere when I'm talking to people.
No. Before you go back, no, that's the appointments. Wait a minute. How do you attribute that you have such a high connection ratio? I mean, like you are almost at, you know, a 20% connection ratio.
I don't know. I guess it's just the luck of the draw. I don't really know.
Well,
I mean, I can't make him be home, but
No. I'm proud of you. This is brilliant. Like, are you, like, there's got to be something. Are you calling, like, before 5 o'clock and also after 6 o'clock? Like, are you calling multiple times in a day? What would you say that is your follow-up strategy?
no, I call multiple times in a day.
we talked about this, the majority of your connections are after 6, are they not?
They are.
Yeah. And I think that's where, when I took over this department, Sean, I tried to explain to people why I wanted them to work later in the day, and all I heard was, well, that's when people are at dinner, we don't have any luck getting a hold of them, and on and on and on. And Sean, I'm with you on that. I said, that's ridiculous. If you're going to call them at home and have any chance of getting them, it's going to be after 5. And Rob has been wise enough to understand that himself, and I don't know if it's wisdom or just, just a small portion of common sense that would dictate that's the easiest time to reach people.
Okay, now this.
For me, the ladies don't like working till 8 o'clock, so I always say, okay, I'll work till 8 because I know what happens after 6 o'clock. And if I have to stay till 9, which I have on occasion, I will. I want the appointment.
There's the key.
That is phenomenal. Do you hear me? That is absolutely, takes them. Okay, good. Okay, so his coworkers, boom, boom, boom. So how many appointments did you make? So you made 201 appointments. So out of the 599 times 0.25, you're above the 25, but it's 25 to 33%. So if you go 599 times 0.33, you're right there. Holy smokes. Do you see, Tim, how my numbers work? What do I always train you, Tim and Rob? I said that, as per J.D. Power, you have on average about an 11 to 14% connection ratio. You're way above that because you're not doing what everybody else does. You're not calling when it's convenient to you between 9 and 5.
Yeah.
You're calling them at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you're calling when everybody else doesn't want to call them. And the second thing is that, with those connections, you had 599, but you made 201 appointments. You're at about a 33.5%. That is a 33.5% appointment made ratio. So you are right there in line with the J.D. Power numbers. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now out of the 201 appointments made, how many shows?
Through yesterday?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Through yesterday, I have 128 shows.
There you go.
You have how many?
128 through yesterday. I don't have today's numbers in there.
Okay, my brother, do you see how the numbers again hit? At a 60% show ratio, that's only one. That's 120. You're at like a 61% show ratio, which is right. Okay, and then, out of the 128 divided by 2, like a 50% selling ratio, you're at 64. So what is your selling ratio? How many sold?
Through yesterday, 72.
It's friggin' phenomenal. Okay, what would you say, Tim, is the reason for such a high selling ratio?
Oh, I think that's a no-brainer. When you listen to his phone calls and you get some sense of how much rapport he builds on the phone before the customer comes in, it's a warm referral or a warm handoff to the salesperson.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely brilliant. Okay, now how many total coordinators do you have?
Well, we had 3 until the 18th. One of them was let go, and we've just hired 2 of them that will start tomorrow.
Okay, so basically though, up until this month, you had one person. You had 3 coordinators plus yourself sell 130-something units this month.
Yes, and I'd say 2.5 coordinators since one was only here half a month. But
Wow. And then one of them did did over 50% of the entire department's business.
yep, yep.
Okay, now, Rob, Tim told me that you are a really big believer of the process and the scripting. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, now, Tim, let's start with you actually. Like, how consistent would you say Rob is with using the dealer synergy outbound phone call process, inbound phone call process, the protocol overall?
Well, that was, I recall back to when I first interviewed Rob, and that was the one thing that I went over with him. I said, look, this isn't an option. This script's got to be 100% of the time, and you're not smart enough to do this better than the people that put this together. So he took that to heart, and I would really challenge somebody to listen to one single phone call he takes that isn't 99% on script.
That's freaking amazing. You know, I, as the trainer and the architect of this thing, I am so proud of you, Rob, because look what happens when you follow the plan, not just the script, because I'm sure that, you know, being a professional like you are, you're able to personalize it, but it's following the game plan. Can you share with us what your thoughts are using the whole dealer synergy process? Has it helped you? Has it hindered you?
No, it's 100% helped me. It has to. I mean, I knew nothing about this business before July 19th, so it has 100% helped me. I think for me, I try to stay to the script as much as possible, and even when I get a phone call that gets a little wild and crazy, like I had earlier this afternoon, I still find my road to get back to where I left off in the script, so that I can finish the script out. You know, if I'm doing all this for them, by gosh, they're going to let me finish the script. Now, of course, I do that in a very sincere manner. I care about my customers and I care about their needs, so I want to know everything that they want in their next vehicle. So it's just, for me, it's just a matter of following the script, and if I do get off base, if the customer wants to take me someplace else for a brief time, I get back to where I want to be and I make them go with me. That's pretty much what happens.
Okay, can you share with us just a couple more closing questions? What is the most challenging? Because I mean, if you think about these numbers, I'm just going to go through this. After making almost 3,000 phone calls in just 1 month, and if you've been working there for, let's say, 90 months, you've almost, 3 months. You know what I mean, like 90 days. If you worked in the last 90 days at the dealership, based on those numbers, you've made almost 10,000 phone calls yourself, whether it's 8 to 10,000. Is that about right?
Honestly, I don't look at I only look at the numbers a month at a time, but I would say you're probably close.
Okay, so if you were, shoot, even if you made 6,000 to 10,000 phone calls in the last 90 days, I know you definitely hit those numbers, you must have learned a lot. I mean, that's a lot of phone calls to make. And if you connected with, you know, literally, what was the number? Oh, you know, 600 connections in 30 days. 600 connections with people in 30 days. You must have learned a lot. What is the biggest objection or expectation that you receive all the time? Is it price? Is it availability? What is the biggest thing people say when you ask step 5? You know, quick question, you know, have you ever purchased a vehicle online before? Yes or no? Okay, what were you looking to accomplish by going online?
Okay. Probably the biggest objection that I have to overcome, it's twofold. It's going to be price and it's going to be availability. Now with price, I get a lot of customers who want the price right now, right now, right now, right now. And they don't want to talk about anything else other than the price. And my thing is to listen to them and assure them that I am going to get them the price, but I also have other information that I want to share them that's going to help them get the best price. So that, and then we have availability issues. A lot of people are very specific about the exact type of vehicle that they want, and so, you know, we don't always have it, but we can get it. And so the idea is to get them, you know, to be patient for 48 hours. I'll have the vehicle here, that sort of thing. So those are two of the things that I find that happen most frequently. Other than that, I got to tell you, I don't get too many objections when people are talking with me, other than the price and the availability issues. I mean, they're thrilled to death. I think most of my customers are that they're talking to someone who really wants to help them and wants to help them find what they're looking for. And I think that's the key to my success is I listen and I know what they want after I've listened to them, and then I can help them.
Last two questions. The second to last question is this. What do you say when you hear people, well, you might not hear, but I hear people constantly saying, oh, I can't really make that many phone calls, even though you yourself in the last, in the last month made 124.8 phone calls per day, with, 2,700 phone calls. What do you think when people say that, A, I can't make that many phone calls in a day, and B, these scripts are BS. I can't get people in here using the script. What do you say?
I usually tell them they're not using the script properly, and then it's not above me to tell them to stop whining. Either they want to work here and do the job and be successful at it, or they need to get on down the road and let somebody else work here who wants to be successful.
That is strong as death. Okay, now the last question is, what advice?
Sorry.
No, I love it. The last question is, what advice would you give to somebody like yourself that's new into the automotive industry, doesn't have a lot of automotive experience, but wants to better themselves and be able to make a paycheck that is solely, predicated upon their success? I mean, you're not landlocked into a salary. You can make as much money as you can earn. What advice do you have for fledglings like yourself?
That's an interesting question. I don't know what I would tell them other than make sure it's something that you want to do, make sure it's something that you are sure you can do, and make sure it's something that you're not going to start and quit. You can't give up. You got to keep at it, because for the first couple of weeks I was here, I got to tell you, I questioned it a lot, and Tim will tell you that. I did question a lot. I wasn't real comfortable with the script, and then something just clicked with the script one day, and I've been okay ever since. But I kept pushing myself, so they got to push themselves, and you got to really believe in what you're doing. It helps that I really believe in this product. I love a Honda, plain and simple. So you just have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're selling as well.
I think that this is very well said, and again, I know that your manager is extremely supportive, extremely proud of you. And Rob, just for the record, like I've been doing automotive internet sales for 14 years, and you are absolutely a rising star. I mean, what you did, you got to realize that the average dealership sells 96 units. That's with 10 salespeople, 2 sales managers, maybe a GM, a GSM, and an F&I manager. You did that with your internet director. You did almost that with 72 cars, and we still have all day today to see what the numbers pan out to be. So you should be extremely proud of yourself, sir, and I'm going to basically evangelize this to everybody in the entire automotive industry. Thousands of people will know what you've done because you deserve to be recognized on a national level. Congratulations on your success.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, I need one last favor from you. It's not a big deal because I'm going to showcase this on the front page here. Can you upload a picture of you, please? It could be any kind you want. Just, Tim, can you show them how to do that over here?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah,
good. All right.